Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's match review of Newcastle United 5, Crystal Palace 0, in an absolute drubbing of the Eagles yesterday, which sees Newcastle United move to third in the table and only 4 points behind the Arsenal. Now, it could end up being a very good week tonight, I guess, Alex, if Manchester United get beat tonight in the UEFA Cup. That'll put a big smile on your face, no doubt. But good evening.
The UEFA Cup. What year are we in? 2004?
I know.
Good evening. And good evening. Go on then.
No, go on. Take it away, Matey.
I'm trying to say hello to our lovely viewers in Viewerland and all of the Magpie Massive, but I was rudely disturbed from my peaceful Thursday afternoon with your UEFA Cup comment.
Yes.
I'm still haunted by Barthez and Woodgate and that whole fiasco. And we're never talking about the UEFA Cup again. No, let's not. Roadblocks come in with a super chat immediately saying Murphy was on it again and he scored a Tonali. He meant that though last night, no doubt about that, but we will come on to that. Alex, just a little bit on the news I did earlier on, just a bit of news about there's I don't know whether you know, actually, a petition's been launched I watched the video
by Newcastle Wildlife, basically 11,000 signatures on it already in opposition to Leazes Park being used for the new stadium.
It's an irrelevant petition. It needs to be thrown out because it's a European-wide petition that anybody could register in. So how many of those 11,000 are actually people with genuine concern who live in the region and have the best interest at heart?
Yep,
I would hazard a guess that now this has started to get some media traction, it's going to be quite a small number. So it's you pretty much might as well disregard it completely. It's nonsense.
I agree. It's. I mean, look, there will be pushback. There always is pushback on any new builds and things like that.
It won't be genuine. That's the issue. The thing is the opposition fans will get wind of it, and a lot of it will be redundant votes anyway. So there might be a few hundred, possibly even a couple of thousand people who are genuinely caring and want to maybe just have a different opinion on what the right thing is. And of course, like you said earlier, everybody's entitled to that. But I do think that 95%, maybe even higher than that, they're not going to be real votes. Yeah.
However, let's move on to last night, Alex. And I'll take it wherever you were. You thoroughly enjoyed last night's performance.
I did indeed. Yes, I did. It was nice and relaxing and a lovely, fun evening watching us absolutely wallop the little old Eagles. And it wasn't a difficult game. It was quite a standard game because we put our foot on the neck and we just kept going until it was done.
Yeah. Did you hear Pardew's comments saying that he thinks Palace didn't even bother turning up because of the FA Cup semi-final they had in mind?
Oh, well, we get this every week, don't we? Well, Manchester United didn't turn up because they've got the Lyon game. Liverpool didn't turn up because they were upset about PSG. Anybody we play has got a reason to potentially not have played properly. It's never that we're good. It's that someone else has got their attention somewhere else. It's bizarre. And I don't really think Pardew and Jamie Redknapp deserve any kind of conversation after their brain cell missing speech about XG yesterday, which I'm very disappointed that some of our journalists about Newcastle have gone on Twitter to clearly show that they don't understand what XG is. XG is purely a metric designed on measuring the quality of opportunities. Nothing more, nothing less. Useful over a long period of time, but to look at the data of XG of one match and start giggling, thinking that you know what you're talking about is very embarrassing when people are in a professional capacity. Rather concerning, but never mind. That's why we do this channel.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now, there's been a couple of comments asking where Billy is tonight. Billy is he's not going to do every show at the minute until he gets back to full health. Obviously, he's still having trouble with his health issues that ended up in hospital. He's still sort of recovering from that. And what I've said to Billy is just, do the shows that you can do. Take it easy and don't overdo yourself. So he won't be on every show, but he is definitely recovering. He's in a good place, and that's all. It's just I've given him a bit of time off, and shows that he can do. He will do. So of course, health comes first, but he's not ill. He's just very gently getting himself back into the groove, shall we say? So that's where Billy is. Emma has been a member now for 6 months on the channel. Thanks, Emma. Hi, Paul and Stato. Come on, let's push for second place. Loved the match last night. And Peter's been a member for 24 months on the channel, and says that's about the number of rats running around Leazes Park anyway. I did get a few comments, I have to say, on the video this afternoon saying that, they're talking about the wildlife, but it's mainly rats and everything running around in the fields, in the park, which I found quite funny. But it'll sort itself out. By the way, big news, Alex. The merchandise website might be getting launched either tonight or tomorrow morning. Busy with it this afternoon.
You're going to put your order in for the staff members, yeah?
No. Yes, Alex. Of course. We'll. I mean,
don't tell Sam. Don't say no to Sam. Jesus, she'll come back on
holiday.
With
I mean, I put an order in yesterday for 2 sample T-shirts to come through to see to check everything's okay with them, and it looks well. I got an email off them this morning saying they'd been dispatched, so very quickly printed and dispatched. So let's keep fingers crossed. Mrs. Toon Review is in the house tonight, so if you want to say hello, Johnny. Christmas jumpers maybe, but it's just sort of hoodies, T-shirts. What else have we got in there? Kids stuff as well. Accessories, tote bags, we've got duffel bags, we've got notebooks, we've got caps, we've got loads of stuff in there. So that's hopefully you'll enjoy it. But it's Susan's done a fantastic header for the merchandise website, and it's all looking good. Mama Toon Stat was also in the chat. Good evening to Mama Toon.
Hello.
Mama Stato, by the way, not Mama Toon. I don't know what I'm on about. Mama Toon Stato, of course. Now, Alex, unchanged side last night again. First 10 minutes, I was very pleased with what I saw, to be honest. It looked like we were really up for it. We were passing the ball around brilliantly. Jacob Murphy was putting some beauties in. And poor Isak, he just couldn't get that break, could he? I mean, so many opportunities. Henderson made a great save down that was left from him. A header just over the bar, and it looked like it was going to be one of those nights for him again, didn't it? It was really strange for Isak. But we'll come on to his goal a bit later, because it was Murphy that opened the score, and Alex, he gets the ball to the right-hand side of the penalty area, definitely looks up, sees where Henderson is, and he doesn't half rifle that into the postage stamp. Brilliant finish.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to bet now that you're going to see a few of those attempts in the Premier League, because it was clearly a bit of a nod to Tonali's goal in that he did go straight to Tonali after he scored it.
Yeah,
it was very much intentional. He set right. He looked. He struck it as if it was a shot.
Oh, the way he hit it was
laces to the right. There is no way that's designed to be received as a header. Like 100%, that was a shot.
Yeah,
and yeah, I'd be willing to bet that you'll see a few players in the Premier League try that in the next few weeks, because maybe there's been a lot of emphasis on build up and trying to engineer the opportunity, but now because the goalkeepers are so ready for the ball across the 6-yard box or the dink to the back post, maybe there is the opportunity to try and catch them off guard a little bit. But yeah, fantastic. I think it's got to the point now. A few people were tweeting on Twitter, which is what you do on X, whatever we're going to call it.
It'll always be Twitter.
Sanjay was piping up about it's not just a purple patch, and we said this a long time ago now. And there's a lot of people sort of suggesting that it probably is, and I can't believe that now. We're in April. It's not like a period of the season. It's the entire season. But he's done it. He got the assist in a cup final. he's done it. He's done a good defensive role.
Mm.
He's kind of a leader as well. It's fantastic from Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
And he scored some not only really good sort of goal contributions, but he scored some really important goals at important moments to put us in front or winners and things like that. And he's it's a bit like Tonali. You're running out of positive things to say about Jacob Murphy. He's just brilliant. And to think if we're going to bring in a superstar right winger, to have this guy competing for the place,
absolutely,
we'll be very lucky, very, very lucky. Barnes, Gordon on one side, and Murphy with a superstar right winger on the other. Blessed.
It's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting. Dan Robinson says, with our goal scoring being so prolific, do you think centre backs and goalkeepers are being told to mainly focus on what Isak is doing, giving Murphy and Barnes chances? And Jordan Long as well, a member for 6 months, saying, will Tonali be the best midfielder we've ever had? We'll come on to that, but regarding Isak, me and Billy mentioned that last night, Alex, that Isak, there's a lot of centre-backs now and defenders in general scared shitless of Alexander Isak. And I think you mentioned this on the review of the Man United game as well, that it's starting to be a factor that they're trying to keep an eye on Isak, which is giving Murphy and Barnes opportunities to go at the defenders as well.
I mean, it's hard to put into words, and it's hard to really analyze what is the correct, like how this actually works with Isak, because 6 to 12 months ago, he had games where we'd play against a compact, physical back three centre halves, and he would get kicked from pillar to post, and he would really struggle in those matches. But I just feel like as of late, and I've got no data to back this up, but I just feel like because of how prolific he's been, that's not as much of a problem for him anymore. Not because he's improved physically, which I think he has to a degree, but I think largely there's a psychological factor for the defending team that they are just terrified of him. When 12 months ago, just get Kurt Zouma a bit tight and he struggles. Whereas now they're just terrified of him. Absolutely terrified of him. But rightly so, because if he does get a little bit of space in an area remotely close to goal, he can improvise and do something with it, whether it's a goal or an assist. I just feel like maybe there's been a blueprint of defenses stopping him, but people are just getting overly scared of him. And then it's really useful as well that the wingers are doing so well and filling in the gaps when Isak does get overmarked and overpushed. So I'll be interested to see if you agree with that. But I do feel like there were defenses that would just out physical him and he wouldn't be able to have an impact.
Oh, I think the improvement's there, Alex. But I credit Eddie Howe for that. Because obviously, he's worked a lot with Isak. And Eddie did say...
Is it Isak's improved physicality, or is it the other teams being scared of him? Or is it a bit of both?
Well, I think it's a bit of everything, mate, to be honest. If you were a defender, you'd be shit scared of marking Isak at the minute because you don't know what he's going to do. And case in point yesterday was that he thought, right, I can't score from 3 or 4 yards out, so I'm going to hit it from 20 yards first time. And it was an absolute
that was disgusting.
Peach. It was absolutely superb. But before all of that, before we go further in the game, Alex, we need to put a poll up for the viewers' man of the match. Now, this is probably going to be the hardest one we've done in a while. Now, because it's just me and thee, we get 2 each. So I will give you the honor of going first, Alex.
Right, let's bring up the players. I want to make sure we give the right players a nod here. I think we'll kick it off with a really easy one, and I'm going to go with Tonali. We'll put an easy one in first.
You bastard. I knew you'd do that to me. I'm going to put Jacob Murphy. Who's your next one? It's difficult.
I don't know. I need my graphic. I need to have a look at people. I need to visualize this. Right. So you've gone Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
I will go. I kind of want to give it to Barnes. Do I want to give it to Barnes? Is that the right choice? I don't know. There's a lot of options there. I mean, I feel like Isak deserves a shout because although he only scored 1 goal, I feel like on any other day he scores 3 or 4. Dean Henderson was just had a really good period of saves. Trippier was really good as well. Oh, this is horrible.
Come on.
I don't want to leave anybody out that deserves it.
Well, we can only pick 4, so just pick one.
I'll go with Barnes. Go with Barnes. It's really hard though.
Barnes. And I am going with Fabian Sh because he was outstanding last night. So there you go. The poll for man of the match for you viewers is Tali, Murphy, Barnes, or Fabian Sh.
That's a good shout.
Yeah. The poll is up. We'll obviously get that at the end of the show. Got a couple of super chats come in there as well. Marco says, Alex earlier spoke about how many points we needed to be in the Champions League. How are we doing so far? Oh yeah, we'll have to get another one of them up, Alex. And
just shout me when you want to put stuff up, and we'll put the table up in a bit. Yeah, and we'll have a look.
Peter Garthwaite says, have you seen the reports that Carlo Ancelotti is set to leave Real Madrid? Would you move heaven and earth to bring him to the club in the summer? Peter, not a chance. Why would you want to get rid of Eddie Howe? I mean, I know Peter's not an Eddie Howe fan. He's just not. And nothing's going to convince him otherwise. But, mate, why would we want Ancelotti when we've got a manager this season who can potentially finish runners-up in the Premier League and won us a cup for the first time domestically in 70 years? No, I wouldn't move heaven and earth to bring Ancelotti in. He didn't exactly tear things up when he was at Everton, did he? To be fair. I know we're a different club than them, but you know what I mean. John Adams, a member for 17 months, says, awesome game for my last game in the Toon. They were playing for fun in the first half. I fly back to New Zealand next week. Back soon, ? Of course you will. Saudi boys with a super chat saying, Paul, I want to say that I've been watching your channel since the start of the takeover, and it's always enjoyable to watch. And this is the only start winning more trophies. It's only the start. Ambitious owners, and keep up the content. Thank you very much. Much appreciated for that. Now, Alex, getting back to the game, the penalty incident. It was a very strange one because when the free kick was taken, I initially said to myself, wow, Nick Pope's coming for that a bit late. I thought he made a decision to come for it very late. I don't think he should have come in the first place because it was on the edge of the box. Byrne was there. We had plenty of defenders there. I don't know why Nick Pope made the decision to come. That's the first part. Now, whether or not it was a penalty or not, I'm not so sure. I think he did get a touch on the ball, Nick Pope. But it's just one of those, isn't it? I just don't think he should have come for it at all.
I disagree. I think the fault is with the officials. I think they've set a precedent with goalkeepers competing in that way physically.
Yeah.
If you're going to encourage them with the previous ways you've disciplined or not disciplined goalkeepers when coming and trying to punch and claim, then it's fine. And I feel like they've made a huge error. And they do need to come out and publicly explain why they've given that as a penalty because of the previous incidents that have happened with specifically the Manchester United goalkeeper on, I count, maybe, was it 3 occasions? Might have been 2. I am not even willing to entertain it as a Nick Pope error.
Paul makes a good point as well,
the
though.
Rules.
Anana's challenge against Wolves, Alex, when he literally...
Against Sasha Kalajic, where he nearly killed him. That wasn't a penalty.
Yeah.
My point exactly is there's no consistency with how you're meant to... How are the players meant to know what they can do if there's no clarity around how the rules work? Should a goalkeeper stay on his line in that situation, or should he come and be aggressive and try and claim because it's a quote unquote from the Premier League this season? They wanted to retain the physicality in the Premier League. They wanted to let a bit more go this season. So I feel like it's a massive cop out, and it is if that's the direction they want to go in terms of that kind of challenge is a penalty, fair enough. But they need to outline that. That needs to be the rule. We cannot see it wishy-washy from week to week, from red team to not a red team. because it's unacceptable. And I think karma was truly served and done in the save.
That is one of the worst penalties, Alex, I have ever seen. Truly ever seen. He tried to be cocky and he tried to be like Ivan Toney takes his penalties, but except Toney is a lot more professional with them. That was a dreadful penalty, and he let his side down, and he let the Palace fans down there. That was dreadful.
Well, I'd say I've got the sort of opinion. I know a lot of people see me as a sort of football hipster with my XG and my stats, but one thing I agree with all of the old school people is take a penalty properly. You run and you thump it. You pick your spot. A proper Alan Shearer penalty. I hate the modern penalties. I think they are ridiculous and they make me so nervous, as I'm sure they make everybody else nervous. So that is one thing that I'm more old school with is that. And that is what happens when you do it that way, is if the goalkeeper holds their nerve. I mean, the commentary explained it perfectly yesterday. If you are going to do that, you have to at least hit it wide enough that the goalkeeper might struggle.
I mean,
not only did he wait late, he just, it was just in sort of the right middle of the goal. It was pretty comfortable for Nick Pope and fantastic. I don't think the save was fantastic. It was the psychology of saving the penalty that's fantastic from Nick Pope. The amount of discipline you've got to have to stand there and wait, the amount of self-control, it was brilliant from Nick Pope. I don't think we can really put a number on how impressive that was. Because if you go and look at all the goalkeepers in the recent years, they don't save those very often. No. That was brilliant.
But he started to go to his right, Nick Pope, didn't he? And then, as if he was maybe saying, putting Eze the other way. But it was a dreadful penalty. But Nick Pope still had to save it, of course, and he did. And then 2 minutes later, we go up the other end. Harvey Barnes has played in, plays the ball across. I mean, Gay had to go for it because if he didn't, then Isak has a tap in. So he has to slide in.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the previous fixture, it was quite similar. He's been very unlucky. But,
he's one of our high scorers this season, Marky.
I mean, he'd be in the wrong if he didn't try and clear it, right?
Absolutely, but it was a deflection into the back of the net. But then Harvey does get his proper goal. And Alex, I have to say, Tali in this goal was absolutely magical because we break away and Tali looks like he's going to play it out to the right. I initially said Jacob Murphy, but it was actually Isak on the right-hand side. But he just twists his hips and reverses it to Barnes. It's a magnificent pass and a magnificent piece of vision from Tali. And then Barnes, of course, breaks into the box and absolutely does Lacroix and smashes it in. Brilliant goal all round.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that get described sort of, you think of David Silva's and Kevin De Bruyne's. People say that it looks like they're playing in bird's eye view. It's like they're playing a video game. They just see more in real time than other people can see. Yeah. Of course, we could see that pass, but it's because we're looking at a TV camera angle. Tali can't see it from that angle. In the moment, that's far more. Anybody that's played 11 versus 11 football will know that's very difficult in the moment, especially when you're at that level. It's ridiculous. So for the...
And to put it right in stride as well. That's what.
I mean, but it's just, it's weird. I'm getting to this point now where it's really weird that I'm enjoying watching Tali for things that aren't even football related. It's just like watching him scan and be aware, and then you go and watch another player not do it, and you can go, "Wow, that's the difference." He's so good. And it's his ability to get his head up and execute the pass as well. Not only can he see it, he can execute it as well. And he's got the physicality, the stamina, and the speed to back all of that beyond. It's just ludicrous the amount of talent this kid's got.
And then Barnes with a brilliant finish as well.
Oh, Harvey Barnes was just fantastic again. Absolutely fantastic. He looks like he's a yard faster than he was a couple of months ago. Now he's really, really match fit. And I think we need to remember this for next time, because there will come a time where Gordon gets back in the side. Barnes might have a niggle, but we've got to remember this for next time, that once he gets a run of games, he can get his top end speed a bit better, and he will be fine if you give him the time. And I feel like it's the same with Joe Willock as well. I feel like you've got to be patient with some of these players because it's just the way their game is.
And then, of course, the referee had 7 minutes on at the end of the half, but understandably so, because there was a VAR delay, 2 clashes of heads.
Yeah, it was the incorrect penalty decision that they had to review for ages.
By the way, on that penalty decision, I don't know whether you noticed, Alex, when the referee went to the screen, the first 5 or 6 showings of the incident were all the same angle, which doesn't show Nick Pope touching the ball.
Well, I think it's very biased.
It's very strange.
I think it's very biased because when we get these transcripts come out and the audio of the VAR reviews, I do feel like it's very much the VAR trying to influence the referee's decision. They're saying, we think this has happened and you've missed it. We think this. I'm going to show you only this angle, specifically this, because I think this has happened and I disagree with you.
Yeah.
That is what VAR seems to come across, in my opinion, whereas I think VAR should be the opposite. I think VAR should try and help the referee and say, look, we've looked at it from 4 or 5 angles. From your angle, it looks like this. That it needs to be far more impartial. And I think at the moment, it's very much ego-driven. And
well, one of wasn't them clear and obvious, was it? It just wasn't a clear and obvious penalty.
Absolutely not. I don't think that's obvious that he's made a mistake. It's very odd the way they push the opinions in VAR. It's very ego-driven. It's peculiar.
And then, of course, in injury time, Alex, we get a free kick. It looks like it's going to be Trippier to float it in. However, Jacob Murphy is standing just to the right of him. Trippier just a little touch to Murphy, and he puts in a sensational cross. I mean, absolutely superb cross. And Fab was there, nods it into the corner. It's 4-0. It was just a brilliant goal.
Yeah, we've been threatening with those for a couple of weeks. It's nice to get one in. Yeah. It's good to get centre-halves on the score sheet as well. It's something that I do think we're lacking from set pieces and from centre-halves and things like that. I think we do need to do a lot better. Considering the physicality and height in our team, I don't think we score enough from corners and set pieces.
Yeah.
However, Dan Burn scoring in the final, Fabian Sh getting another one now. Of course, Fabian Sh has contributed quite a lot earlier on in the season as well. So it's nice. It was a very beautiful traditional move, wasn't it, in football?
Yeah, it was,
the winger beautifully weighted.
It was old school. It was old school.
The noggin. Yeah, it was good.
Brilliant. Couple more super chats to go through. Samsonite Dove says 71% of the earth is covered by water. Tali covers the rest. Yeah. Jordan Long says Eddie is our king. Ian Morgan says Nick Pope worries me. He's very erratic and has made some howlers since he signed. He redeemed himself last night with a penalty save. And Centurion 84 says Tonali is tuned into the Premier League pace now. He reminds him a bit of Luka Modric. High praise indeed. High praise indeed. I mean, half time, Alex. It was very strange because we've seen us thump teams before quite convincingly in first halves, and then second halves we've completely took our foot off the gas. And I said to Billy during the halftime break, it's going to be interesting to see what Tindall says to the guys and how they come out for the second half, given how well they did at halftime against Manchester United. They came out and trounced them. I think we still went at it in the second half, maybe not at the quick pace as we were. The game was won. And then Isak scores an absolute worldie again, and the game is done and dusted. I mean, Isak, for me, just showed what a class player he is, because he had those opportunities, a save from Henderson, a header over the bar, then somehow Richards blocks his shot, he spins and hits it wide. But then he only had one thing in mind when that Joelinton did brilliantly with the press, wins it back, it just rolls into Isak, and he just curls it brilliantly past Henderson.
I mean, you've described everything, but yeah. Yeah, it epitomizes what we've been doing in the last few weeks. We've had so many moments and weird periods of the season where we've not looked like this.
Yeah,
I feel like even in our winning streak where we won 9 games in a row, we didn't look like this. This looks like a bit like the Newcastle of old from 18 months ago.
Yeah,
where we were just absolutely marauding teams, running them over, steamrolling, battering ram, whatever we're going to describe it as. It reminds me a lot more of that. it's different. Whatever it is, it's clicked. I don't know if it's cohesion of the squad, if it's motivation from winning the cup, a bit of both, a bit of practice. Who knows? But it's clicked. It's like the team we had when we beat Spurs 6-1 and then dismantled Everton. It's like those performances with the added quality of the new players in, like Tonali. So it's just on another level, and we are absolutely terrifying to play against.
Yeah.
And it was easy. It was easy, which the Premier League is not easy.
I never expected
made
that.
It really easy.
Yeah, a lot of people saying before the game, and I guess in our preview for the game, you did say expecting a sort of 2-1, a close game like that.
I think Glasner was as well. He was embarrassed by some of it when the camera was on him.
What he was saying.
We were so good, and we made them look pathetic. And it was basic things as well. You can see it's training groundwork, it's coaching, it's persistence. Like the little was it Trippier who rolled the free kick to Murphy, and all of this is practiced work, and it's little things. And then you could see Glasner watch the replay and goes, because it's stuff that we've worked on that he could in theory prevent. And
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that Palace dressing room, Alex, at half time. What he said to the player, and then obviously Eze as well with the penalty. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was just a very bad day at the office for Crystal Palace, but we made them look bad yesterday by the way we played. We were absolutely superb. Typhoon Chi has been a member for 23 months now on the channel. Thank you, mate. Is it true that Joelinton's 9 yellow cards have been reset after last night's game against Palace? Yes, that is true. How? I don't know, because he should have been booked in the first 20 minutes, but he wasn't.
Nah, he was all right yesterday. There's been some previous games where he's absolutely... he got away with one a few weeks ago. I can't remember who it was against. He walked off with 5 fouls and no booking.
It is hard to mouth stuff, though, sometimes with Big Joe. It really is. And he says also, who's better, Tonali or Cabaye? I'm saying Tonali. I mean, Cabaye was one of my favourite players, but Tonali, my God.
Tonali is Cabaye with physicality and speed.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He really is unbelievable. Right, before we go into the player ratings, guys, if you do enjoy tonight's show, please do give it a thumbs up, even if you're watching this on a replay. They are very important, the likes that we keep getting into the channel, so that it tells YouTube something good is happening on here, and it puts us out in the search results, so fellow supporters like yourselves can find the channel. And, of course, if you are new and you like what you see, please do subscribe. It is completely free. Come and be part of this upcoming, very quickly growing channel and community that we have here on the Toon Review. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show. And, of course, you can become a member by hitting the join button just underneath myself and Stato. Super chats are available, as you've seen. The $sign underneath the live chat will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. And, of course, thank you to Mamaroo Records for their continued sponsorship of the channel, based in Whitley Bay, for all your music needs, whether it be vinyl, CDs, music merchandise, a bit of sport merch, and, of course, gift cards. If you can't get into Whitley Bay to the shop, check them out online. It's pinned at the top of the description. Right, let me find some sort of notepad here, Alex, because I seem to have misplaced... God, I've still got to put this all together on a bloody spreadsheet. Things are dropping on me and all sorts here. Never mind. I think that one's a full one. Bollocks. Talk among yourselves, guys. It's all right. I'll be with you in a minute. Right. I seem to have found the spare one here.
Oh, okay. There we go.
No, what were you going to say there?
I was just going to say, I also think it's quite relevant that Palace came to us with a more defensive lineup and a setup, so they didn't get overrun. They did swap it to Lerma and Hughes in midfield. Hughes is a lot more experienced. Jefferson Lerma, who's played as a centre-half, as a defensive midfielder. They brought Gahey back into the side, really to just try and be careful and make sure they didn't concede a lot of goals. They could have started Adam Wharton and players like that, and they didn't.
I was really surprised he didn't start, Alex, because I think he's a very, very good player. And I think... Palace actually got a little bit stronger when he came on.
Well, Daichi Kamada was much better and Wharton was much better. I think Glasner got it completely wrong. They went defensive and they just got bulldozed. It's the wrong lineup.
But Who cares? I like coffee with a super chat saying Mafinho, same number of goals and assists as Lamine Yamal at the moment. I mean, look, Murphy's just in a different stratosphere at the minute. He really is. Right, let's start with Nick Pope then, Alex.
I'm really enjoying his throw-in. Stop kicking the ball. Just throw it all the time because your kicking's crap. Your throw-in it looks like some of the best throw-in distribution in the league, which is what Eddie Howe referenced in a press conference. And I'm starting to see that now. It's really deadly when we can use it on the counter-attack. Save the pen. I don't think I'm going to mark him down for the giving it away because I think that's an inconsistency in the officiating of the game. So I'm going to give him a 9 because I think the stat was he's not saved a pen in about 5 years. Is it an open? Because I know we saved some in penalty shootouts, but we're on about from open play.
Yeah.
I'll go for a 9.
I've gone with an 8. I think, I don't know. I just think he was a little slow to decide coming out for that penalty incident. I just think if he's going to come...
But he came out at other moments and swept up really well.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's why I've given him an 8 because I think he did really well. And you're right with his throw. His throw is better than his kick. And he can get the same sort of distance with the throw as well. Some of the long throws he plays out puts Murphy or Barnes straight on the attack, and that's exactly what you need from your goalkeeper. But yeah, penalty save as well. 8 for me. Kieran Trippier.
Kieran Trippier, I think, deserves a lovely high score. I mean, he's got an assist. I think he was very, very intelligent with his. He basically functioned as the captain. I think, even though Bruno was on the pitch, Trippier did a lot more captain work yesterday. I'm going to give Trippier a 9, just because I thought he played the game really well in terms of managing his team, calming people down in the right moments, recycling the ball when it was appropriate, communicating instructions to everyone. He was the proper captain. No disrespect to Bruno intended. But I'm going to go for a 9 for Trippier. I thought that was really, really important, his work.
Yeah, I've gone for 9 as well. Do you know what? I think he's rolling back the years, Alex. He may not have the pace anymore, but I think Peter's just mentioned it in the chat as well. His timing is impeccable. I mean,
his standing tackle is insane.
Yeah,
so good.
It's tight, and sometimes, whether you're playing into your late 30s or whatever, he's not late 30s. Is he 30, 34?
Yeah, I mean, for a fullback, he's about there. He's ready to collect his pension as a fullback. But he's 34,
When you've got the timing like Kieran Trippier and the football brain like Kieran Trippier, sometimes pace. I mean, there was once I think he got outdone yesterday, but at the same time, he's just
he'll be 35 in September.
Yeah, he was just brilliant for me. So 9 as well. Tino Livramento.
That's a difficult one. I thought he was really good. He's not in the top of the list. He's not been put in the man of the match poll, but I don't think he had a load of problems, to be honest. I don't think Sarr caused him too much bother.
No.
The only bother that came from some of those players were from set pieces, which is arguably not Tino's fault anyway. I'll go for a 7.5, but not because he wasn't good. I just think we used a lot of other areas in the pitch. He was fine. He did nothing wrong at all. We focused on a lot of other areas in our build-up, and he didn't get challenged too much defensively. So 7.5.
I've gone 8.5, Alex. I've gone a point above. I just think he's exceptional at the minute, and
I don't think he had to do too much. It was very much when a goalkeeper doesn't get challenged. He didn't get challenged.
But I think part of that is the way Tino played, and he did make a couple of interceptions yesterday. But his driving forward now has really impressed me. There's times last night that he was further forward than Barnes at times when the centre backs had the ball. And that's we said do you remember a few months ago we were saying that when he was on the right and he wasn't bombing forward, that it seemed to be a confidence thing with him because he would get to a certain stage of the pitch and maybe turn back. Now he's just getting his head down. Thinks, right, I can take you on
every single time.
I'll get past you.
It's either Barnes or play Barnes in. It's one of the two.
Yeah. I just think he's exceptional, and he can only get better as well. Bruno's Magic Hat with the super chat saying, quote Morpheus, they're starting to believe. I honestly feel like we're witnessing the turning point of the club and the players' belief in the project. Oh, absolutely. It's so good at the minute. It really is. Dan Burn, Alex. Big Dan Burn.
I mean, he was very important in a lot of set pieces, wasn't he? Very, very important. Sorry, defensive set pieces. Mateta didn't get as much joy as he would have liked. Dan Burn is the primary reason for that. 6 out of 6 aerial duels won. I'm going to go for an 8.5 for Dan Burn. I'm going to go a bit higher because he got challenged a lot more and did everything he was meant to. Keep Mateta from being a big lump and a problem. He had him on toast.
Yeah, I've gone for an 8 for Dan Burn. Superb performance again. Made some very, very good clearances yesterday. And what I did notice is Mateta, he wasn't getting any joy out of Dan Burn, so he started going alongside Fabian Sh. And that was a major wrestling match. There was a good competition there, but he'd had enough of Dan Burn. He couldn't get anything out of him. So, but he's just steady away every game now, isn't he, Alex? You just expect now Dan Burn just to do his job and get on with it to a very high standard, which is fantastic. I mean, he's just unbelievable at the minute.
I mean, as a left-sided centre half, considering that, in my opinion, Sven Botman is our first choice. Again, it's the same as the winger situation. We're in a pretty good place.
Burns fit, right Botman's now. Back. Would you put Botman straight in? Not. You can't just get...
Botman doesn't get straight in, but Botman only gets minutes if we have defensively frail performances, which we're not having that at the moment. So, no.
Yeah. Fabian Sh.
Struggled a tiny... Well, not struggled. Okay, wrong word. Wasn't as competent in the duel as Dan Burn, but I mean, it's Dan Burn, so it is what it is. He was still pretty good. Passes were okay, but he got his goal, so he was useful. He looks a bit better. His short passing, his long range passing, everything's just gone up a bit. It was pretty poor a few months ago. And now it looks like it's all been tidied up 5 or 10%, and just everything looks a little bit cleaner and crisper, which we really didn't need him to tighten it up, and he has done. And then he got a goal as well. So he was much better, really solid. I'm going to go for 9 for him because he's a centre-half and he did his defensive duties really well and got a goal on top of it, which defenders aren't expected to get too many. So he gets a 9.
Yeah. 9.5 for me. I've got 9.5. I've slated him in recent months, and I think rightly so. He hasn't been at his best and needed to improve. But I think last night, along with the Man United performance as well, I think he's just getting better and better again. He's finding his rhythm again. He's finding his game. And I thought he was outstanding last night. Absolutely outstanding. You're right what you say, Alex. He had a hard battle with Mateta, but Mateta's a huge guy. And I think Fabian Sh did really his best. And some of the passes were good, but the goal topped it off as well. I just think it's great seeing both our centre backs at the top of the game right now. It's fantastic to watch. Sandro Tali.
I mean, he's just... I don't think it's fair to rate him on the same scale.
He's an enigma.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's bonkers. I want to give him a 10 just because it's just the play style is just so elite.
Well, he was a 10, Alex. Let's be fair. He was absolutely outstanding, man.
I'm not going to give him a proper 10. I'm not going to give him a 10 because you've got to put up the right numbers for it. But it's just you can't give him a 10 based on vibes. That's not how we do this. As much as I want to, he got an assist. Physically was a monster. pace was a monster. All stages of the game, whether it was at the start, at the end. I mean, I'll go 9.5. I'll go as close as I can to a 10. But he's a pure and utter freak of nature with how talented he is. He's 24 years old.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's mental.
Well,
we were all raving about Bruno a few years ago.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Bruno, but this guy is starting to make that look
I know
bonkers.
What you mean.
He's so good.
Well, I've given him a 10. I can't give him anything less than a 10. I think he just covers every blade of grass. He's a fantastic footballer to watch. And, he's great going forward, but his defensive work is incredible as well. He's always on the edge of our box, making sure that he sweeps up. And then when he does sweep up, he'll run 40, 50, 60 yards down the pitch with the ball. It doesn't matter how late on in the game, he can still outrun any of the substitutes that come on.
Every game as well.
He's a
Considering
monster.
we played Sunday, Wednesday. Yeah. It's like if you offered a swap between Tonali and any other midfielder in the Premier League right now, I would say absolutely jog on.
No.
Declan Rice, not a chance. He's a very good midfielder, Declan Rice, but I think the neutrals are hugely sleeping on how good Sandro Tali is, which is to our benefit. We don't want them to really clock on as to how good he is. That's fine. If they want to think it's Rice, we'll keep Sandro and we'll just keep doing this. Not a problem.
Yeah. Well, he's linked with the Juventus again today as Tonali, but
no, that's Romano's mate from Sky.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. He was quoted as saying
he's
that
tried to do that.
They're going to go in for 70 to 80 million euros, which is what we paid for him. Not a chance. No. Not even.
Nowhere.
Double it. Or walk away.
He is easily above £100 million player. Easily. Dan Robinson with a super chat saying Sandro Ferrari 10.5. I believe I commentated last night when he made a tackle. Palace were about to break, and I said no, they don't. Because our Ferrari's just come in and took the ball. Just brilliant.
Fire engine.
Yeah.
He's
Bruno.
a Ferrari fire engine.
He is. Bruno, matey.
Bruno. Nah. It was okay.
I thought he was much better last night, Alex. I have to say, I thought he was much better.
He was better. 91% passing accuracy. A lot more involved, better in the duel, better at drawing the foul. His final killer pass is still a bit off, though.
Yeah, he's
trying them again, which is fine, but they're not quite working, which I think he's frustrated. He was visibly furious when he got subbed off as well, he's going to have to take that.
So was Joelinton as well. I mean, the both were... But I think,
but Joelinton needed to come off because of the yellow card situation.
He should have known. Yeah, that's what I said.
But Bruno was absolutely furious. I think all of them were very confused as to what to do with the captain's armband last night. I think Trippier gave it to Barnes at one point. I don't know if it eventually ended up with Dan Burn. I'm not sure.
It did. Barnes put it on. Trippier put it on Barnes. And Barnes just sort of a wave of panic must have come over him, thinking, "Shit!" Like, and he gave it to Burn eventually. It was crazy. Bless him. So, what are you giving Bruno then?
I've got to give him a mark. I'll go for a 7.5.
I'm giving him an 8. I thought he was much better last night. Certainly better than recent games I've seen him. And again, some of the work he does away from the ball as well. But I thought on the ball he was better, holding it better, passing it better. That killer pass, like you say, he's still working on. He's still trying to get that back in his groove. But I thought we saw mostly the elements of what we're used to with Bruno yesterday. And I thought he's coming good again. And listen, if he's coming good at this time of the season, then we're in for a treat, really. But our midfield is just bloody awesome, man. It's just
6 games left, so they just need to keep it going.
Yeah. Joelinton.
He was a little bit more of a handful, actually. He was okay. The duel statistics aren't fantastic for him. I don't think it was about the duels as much. he was winning second balls anyway. He got his assist through pressing and sheer hard work, and it was a very well-timed tackle because he didn't even touch the player. He just managed to poke a little toe and put the ball into Isak's path, which he's been credited with a proper assist for that. He was good. I'll go with an 8.5 for Joelinton. It was very impactful. Their midfield, none of them physically could just do anything. As soon as anybody got tight, they just couldn't retain the ball.
I've given him an 8. I think he was, again, similar reasons. I just think his closing down was just monstrous last night. He wasn't giving any player around him a second to have the ball. Before, and what I like, what you mentioned, Alex, is it's not just the goal for Isak. He was doing that quite a few times last night where he wasn't making any contact with the opposition player and he was just stealing the ball. And then a couple of times he was penalised for it, which I thought that's very weird, bad refereeing. But
yeah, I noticed that as well. Actually,
he's starting to perfect that way. He's just sticking in, timing it right. I think is the best way to describe it. Right, Jacob Murphy.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go for a 10.
Yeah,
because I mean, he scored a goal and he got an assist. As a wide forward. The goal was ridiculous. The angle, the execution, the fact that it was intended, and the lovely work set piece routine where Kieran Trippier let Murphy have a go. It was engineered. They knew what they were doing.
That was a traded ground goal
from Jacob Murphy.
No doubt.
As an attacker, again, he's not a striker, but he's absolutely blowing strikers' numbers out of the water. What's he on? Is he on 21 goal contributions now?
Something like that, yeah.
That's mad. It's absolutely bananas. It's 10. The only 10 of the game for me goes to Jacob Murphy. Incredible.
Interesting. I've gone 10 as well. How can I not? The guy was. It's not just his goal and his assist for the share goal, Alex. It's the fact that some of his crossing, especially in that first half, was absolutely incredible. Just itching for somebody to put the ball in the back of the net, and a couple of times, obviously, Isak got on the end of them, but just couldn't put the ball in the net in the first half. But just brilliant. And I'm so happy for him because he's working his arse off right now. It's 19 goal contributions in all competitions so far for Murphy, Alex.
I thought it was more than that.
I read somewhere it was 10 and 9, I think. So, yeah. But 19, 20, 21, what the hell does it matter? He's outstanding at the minute. What I did, somebody put a picture up on Twitter last night. Do you remember that funny haircut that Ronaldo had in that World Cup, Alex, where he just had the front of his head?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, they put Murphy's face over it. It was hilarious. It was brilliant. Harvey Barnes.
Just got to say, we've got a stat hater in the house. Missed the days when we used to just talk about the game instead of reading a stat book. Football isn't played on paper. No. Well, you won't like me then, sir, because that is my whole shtick. Yeah. The whole point in it is so that people couldn't bully people with their opinions about something that wasn't true. It has its place.
Of course it does.
It's how we recruit players and how we set teams up. So the clubs disagree with you.
Yeah, you go and tell Eddie Howe that stats don't matter. They bloody do.
You're going to tell Brentford not to recruit based on data and they won't have a team.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes, it gets a 9.5, as close as he can do to a 10. And I feel like that's even a bit harsh because he warrants 2 goals on paper. It goes down as an own goal from Mark Gahey for one of them. But he's really, really found his groove, as you would say.
Certainly has.
I just really like that he's got his pace back. I was really concerned that he just didn't have it anymore. Because when you used to watch Harvey Barnes at Leicester when he was 22, 23, he was pretty speedy as well. And some of the runs we've watched him make in the last 12 months, he's like running through treacle as a winger. And I've not seen that as a problem in the last 3 weeks at all. He runs and he's fine. He's quite happy to challenge people for pace, no bother. And his finishing is just fantastic. It's why we recruited him. 9.5, really good.
I mean, technically, Paul World says that you should get an assist even if it does come off the defender because he did set the goal up. So it's
they probably need to adjust that because you can get credited. So, for example, Kieran Trippier gets the credit of an assist for doing like ball rolls and stuff. Well, that would be a second assist, but you can get credit. Like maybe like, do you remember when Tali scored the crazy goal from the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever passed it to him got an assist for that, which is, so you can get assists.
Wasn't that Murphy? I'm assuming that was Murphy.
Potentially was. So you can get assists for basically not contributing to the goal at all. But then you don't get anything if you force the own goal. You get no credit at all statistically, which is stupid.
Yeah. Brian says earlier in the season you were all slating Barnes. I've said all along he's quality. Yeah, he wasn't playing well though, Brian. Come on, let's be honest, he was struggling. And like we say, if he's struggling, we'll say he's struggling, and then when he's playing well, we'll say he's playing well. He is a very good player, and he's proven that he's a very good player.
Brian, we were in 14th in November, mate. That was a
look against Bromley. He was terrible, as Winnie Winch just said there. He was terrible against Bromley, but he's got a run of games now, which I think he's gained confidence from, knowing that he's going to start, and he's now undroppable in my opinion. So and credit to Harvey Barnes. He's proven a lot of people wrong. Big Tank with a super chat saying, I still love Miggy, but will we see this side of Murphy if Miggy is still here? Well, Miggy would be on the bench, sure, yes. We'd still see the same side of Murphy.
Well, you'd imagine that he would have been rotated a little bit had there been a spare player.
Cold shiver down my spine. Isak, Alex.
I mean, we should be rating him a 10 right now. But Dean Henderson has robbed him of that with some very good saves.
Yeah.
I mean, statistically, Dean Henderson's been given really low marks on all
I felt sorry for him last night because I think he was outstanding for Palace. If it wasn't for him, it would have been a great score.
It could have been 8 or 9. Yeah, if he wasn't there, some of the saves he pushed away. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go for a 9 for Isak because I'm not gonna mark him down for the fact the goalkeeper was really good. He did his job in he was provided opportunities and he put them on target. There was one where he struck it low to the right and Henderson saved it as well. Like Henderson got some outrageous saves on some of Isak's shots. I'm going to go for a 9. I thought he was really, really good. 6 shots in the game, only the 1 goal. And it was the hardest of the shots. It was the only one of the shots that was outside the box.
It was an incredible strike. It really was.
Crazy. 5 inside got saved, and it was the long range one that got in the goal.
Yeah. 9 for me as well. Absolutely outstanding. And the fact that, he had 6 opportunities, it just tells you how good he was. And the positions he was taking up last night. And I think, Henderson denied him a couple of times with some wonderful saves. Richards blocked a shot, which was a fantastic block, to be fair to the kid. So he again, I mean, how many times do we say this, Alex, when we're doing the match reviews and we say Isak could have had 5 or 6, and that's the kind of player he is. It's just unfortunate that, the goalkeeper and defenders stood him up last night, but brilliant again. Right, substitutes, when did they come on?
We had on the 62nd minute, we made a double sub, and it was Joe Willock and Anthony Gordon.
Okay, so we'll mark them two, matey. Willock and Gordon together.
I thought they both worked very hard and were okay, but they didn't do enough to warrant a super high mark. So I'm just going to go with a positive 7.
Yeah, for both of them.
Some good stuff though. Taking it to the byline. Gordon had a really good counter-attacking run that unfortunately couldn't get a goal out of, but they were both good. They were okay.
Yeah, I've gone 7 apiece as well. Not outstanding, but good. I think is a fair assumption. Who was next?
We made another double sub on the 72nd minute, which was Sean Longstaff and Callum Wilson.
Okay. I'll double mark them then, Alex.
I mean, Sean,
it's always the same response when it comes to, as soon as we say Sean Longstaff. It's
I don't want to be mean.
Hey, to be fair to Sean, he was okay. Good ball he played a great ball down the right hand side, but he lost.
I give him a 5.5.
5.5.
He was just. I don't want, he's far more Geordie than I'll ever be, and he's done so much for the club, but I can't just rate him highly based on that. Like it was fine. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'll go 5.5. Callum Wilson. I mean, did he touch the ball this time?
I don't
know. Touches. He got 3. That's 3 more than he got last game.
That's 3 in over 20 minutes of football.
He lost his only duel as well.
Wow. I mean, I feel sorry for him. I really do.
Go for a 2.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Callum. I've just got to rate what's in front of me, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
what am I supposed to do? I feel bad, but
I've gone for a 3. I don't understand why we didn't see Asula last night, to be honest, Alex. That seemed to be the perfect game.
It was fine for it.
5-0 up. Why he doesn't put him on? I have no idea. That was the strange thing about last night. But I guess
he did look. There was a couple of times when they recycled it back to their centre halves where he pressed well to close them down, and he looked like he'd got a little bit of pace back, which I said a few weeks ago and got laughed at for it. He's actually pressing okay, but he's just not touching the ball or doing anything. He's not winning any physical duels either.
Yeah,
really concerning.
I do feel so sorry for him because he's done so much for us, to be fair. And it's injuries.
I want him to be able to leave dignified, and at the moment, it's
like a countdown to the season ending, isn't it? It's like Jesus. When did Emil Craft come on?
79th minute. So he did get a little bit of time.
Yeah. Go on then.
He was okay. I don't think he did anything setting the world alight, but 12 out of 13 passes, played 11 minutes plus added time. Go for a 6.
Yeah, I've gone for a 6 as well. Steady away. And finally, Jason Tindall, Alex.
Well, he's the assistant manager. And he's engineered a 5-0 win at St. James's Park.
Well, in the space of 3 days, a 4-1 win over Man United and a 5-0 win over Crystal Palace.
9-1 on aggregate for for his games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible not to give him a 10.
I
mean, I challenge anybody to not put Mad Dog 10 in the chat because I don't think your keyboard will allow it. It's got to be. It's just good. I kind of like I like how we come out the second half as well. Maybe they're a bit more scared of him. I don't know, but obviously that's nonsense. But I think the players have responded really well to this whole situation. It's nice to see.
I think it's the whole squad and coaching staff, Alex. They've all responded in such a positive way. Look how many players came out after the Man United game and have said again last night, it's all for Eddie. And I'm sure, Tindall is sort of in discussions with Eddie privately. He won't want to tell the press all that. He will be in contact with him. I would think he might have been to see him by now. It's the thing is, a good point is made. He could actually get manager of the month, Alex.
I mean, if we beat Villa, we've got, and then who's after Villa? Is it the Ipswich game?
Ipswich, yeah.
If we can get a positive result against Villa and then hopefully beat Ipswich at home, then he's on track for it. I'm just really thrilled by how much of a well-oiled machine we are run as a footballing operation.
Yeah,
because the fact that the manager can disappear like this and everything just ticks on as normal. Obviously, it won't indefinitely. There's a period of time where you're going to need your manager's input properly, but he's set everything up well enough, and he's got the right people in the club, whether it's analysts, coaches, that can just keep the ball rolling, keep everything ticking over. Yeah. And in this capacity, where we're steamrolling teams, is unheard of. To be honest, I think it is fairly unheard of. So yeah. He's very impressive, Jason Tindall.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive congrats to him, and long may it continue. Right, the viewers' man of the match before we finish, Alex. Who do you think's got it?
That's actually a tough one tonight. I mean, I've not looked at my phones. I've not got a clue. I mean, I feel like Murphy, just because of the quality of the goal, and he got an assist. But obviously, Barnes, in theory, got a double. It was an own goal. Tali was just fantastic as an overall performance. I enjoyed Tonali the most. That was my viewing experience. I would go with Tonali, but I just feel like general output maybe Murphy. I'm not sure. I think it might be one of the two.
The final results are Sandro Tali, 55% of the votes, Alex. Jacob Murphy.
It's vibes.
Jacob Murphy, 31%. Barnes with 12.
It's just Tonali vibes.
And Fabian Sh, 2%. 2.
I mean, I didn't agree with your pick on that one. I think maybe Trippier deserved in over.
Well, that makes a freaking surprise.
Even though Share got a goal.
I'm staggered by that. In fact, it's finished Tonali 54, Murphy 30, Barnes 12, and Share 2.
Tonali's just so fun to watch play football.
Oh,
that's why you buy tickets. He's so good.
Yeah, he is. He really is. It's incredible to watch. But there you go, guys. That is it for the match review. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Tomorrow, I'll be back 11:30 with a press conference reaction and latest news show. I know it's Good Friday tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure that the press conference is still going ahead because we play on Saturday down at Villa. So he has to do the press conference at some point. So I presume it'll still be going ahead. There's no sort of bank holidays for footballers anyways. So I'll be doing an 11:30 show, and then we're back at 7 o'clock tomorrow night with the preview for the Villa game, seeing how tough it is going to be for Newcastle. Listen, it's going to be a cracking game anyway. But thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, as usual, give it a like. Even if you're watching on a rerun, they're very important for the channel. And of course, if you're new, come and be part of this fast-growing community on the Toon Review by hitting the subscribe button, completely free of charge. But do make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show in the future. And of course, thank you to Mamaroo Records for sponsoring the channel, based in Whitley Bay for all your music needs. If you can't get into Whitley Bay Town Centre, check them out online. It's pinned at the top of the description. Thank you so much for your super chats, memberships, mods, and Alex, of course, thank you very much. And of course, a big thank you to you guys out there for spending an hour with us tonight. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and we'll see you all again tomorrow. But in the meantime, it's good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some green.